Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, participants.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, Bu.
Morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Morning. It's my pleasure and honor to have you around here participating the 15th LIA Classroom Action Research and Colloquium. I assume that all of us participating now are all teachers. Maybe there are those who are not teachers. Maybe they are now school administrators, supervisors, or content developers, or any field of education. You are still welcome. This time, I'm going to actually address this issue to the English teachers from across the nation. If I am right, if we are all teachers, then we share the same passion. We share the same passion of educating our people, our younger generation, to be able to compete globally by using the global language, which is English. That's the business of LIA. Okay. Now, today I would like to share with you the message, the clear message conveyed to me by the LIA Teacher Training Development and Quality Assurance that which says like this. So whatever teaching delivery modes, whatever teaching delivery modes and teaching strategies you are using or we are using in the classroom, our ultimate goal is effective learning. There is effective learning if there is effective teaching. Okay. Now let me next. Please, the next slide. Okay, today, so I'm talking about various teaching delivery modes and strategies. One objective is effective learning. And we all know that many educational institutions around all over the world actually are in the transition of using face-to-face learning or on-site classes again against online learning. Yeah, in this case, before we go on, I would like to throw some statements, and I would like you to respond whether you agree or disagree. Yeah. So the first statement says, online learning allows students to learn at their own pace. Do you agree? Does everybody agree? You can just give me some.
Agree.
Agree. Yeah. Online learning allows students to learn at their own pace. Yeah. Especially it is what we call asynchronous learning. Yeah.
Yes.
They can choose their own time and their own place. So everybody agrees to that. And don't you think that in on-site classes, or we call it face-to-face learning, students cannot learn at their own pace?
They can.
They also can.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, they also can.
Yeah, it depends on how the teacher give them the chance
Yes.
to learn at their own pace. So actually, these statements can also be applicable to on-site classes. It's 5%. Yeah. Okay, so that is clear. Now, second, online learning this quotes our statements I got from browsing, but it is something that we are going to think about. Yeah, online learning can increase collaboration, Yes? Agree or
Of
disagree?
course.
Of
course.
course. No?
Yes, ma'am, of
Yes,
course.
ma'am.
Are you sure? Online learning can increase collaboration. Of course, not face-to-face collaboration.
Of course.
Local collaboration. It's wider
Mm.
than online. Of course, in class, we do a lot of collaborative activities already. But this one is in a wider area or wider, community. It's global. It's global. Students now are exchanging ideas through online discussions or even to chatting in using instant communication modes. Okay, so the third, learners can concentrate better in face-to-face learning. Face-to-face learning, learners can concentrate better. Do you agree with that?
Of course, yes.
What about online learning? They are alone there, working on their assignments. Can they concentrate?
Depend on several aspects, ma'am.
Okay, it depends. That's
Yes.
a good answer. It depends on the different aspects. But it was somebody or one of the practitioners said that they can concentrate better at home, or I know face-to-face learning.
Mm.
They can concentrate better in classrooms because they are focused,
Yes.
with the teacher or with their friends. But if it is online, they are alone. There are a lot of distractions at home. Then
Yes.
maybe everybody has already experienced about that. And then we think about if it is mothers, they think about the children cooking and so on. If they are
Yes,
students,
yes, ma'am.
Right.
so a lot of distractions at home.
A
Yes,
lot.
Your
A
bed is there,
lot.
especially if students are doing their activities,
Activities.
school activities inside the bedroom. You see, so a lot of temptation. Okay, so
Ah,
in this case, if it is face to face, they concentrate in the classroom, concentrate on the teacher and the lessons being taught. Okay, agree with that. So we are fine with that.
yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
okay, yes. Now the fourth statement. Um, face-to-face learning is much better. Oh, now this is very not really
Agreeable.
very challenging. Yeah,
Mm.
face-to-face learning is much better compared to online learning. So you think it over, and maybe you can just also communicate to me through your chat or whatever it is. Then, or you can just discuss. Anybody who wants to say something about this? This
Yes,
is a
ma'am.
big issue. Hmm.
Can I?
Yes, sure.
Okay. My name is Idah Maulidah, ma'am. I'm from LIA Cirebon.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay. Face to face, I think I agree that face to face learning is much better compared to online learning if it is about practicing communication or practicing language. What is it? In learning about new languages, need several practice, and the teachers can control the students' activity by studying face-to-face compared to online learning. Especially when they have to practice pronunciations, speaking, and something like that. If they practice speaking through online learning, there are so many distractions, especially with the internet connections and so on. But by face-to-face learning, I believe that the teacher can control better. I think that's all my opinion, ma'am.
Okay. You are also supported actually, Miss Rahma, Mia.
Yeah, Maulidah.
Maulida, Ms. Maulida, you're
Yes.
supported actually by Stanford researchers. Also, they said that they found out that in-person communication makes our brains happier. Okay, so I think we agree with that. Yeah, it depends on the purpose. Yeah, okay. Anyway, now we are going back to face-to-face learning. LIA is on that, what is it? On that track now. Okay, next. Okay, in this session, actually, I will talk about various teaching delivery modes, a little of its challenges and advantages as well. And then, since this is our theme today, and I'm going to focus on one strategy. Actually, it's reflective teaching or reflective practice and how it is correlated with classroom action research. And our main goal, our one objective here, ultimate goal, is effective teaching and learning. Effective learning through effective teaching. Okay. So next. So do you, this here actually, what is it? Very simple definition of effective teaching before we go on. So effective teaching simply means that teachers are being able to improve learners' achievement. If you have any other definition, there are a lot of definition, but this one is just very simple and short. And so when we are able to improve learners' achievement, what will happen to the learners? So they are being able to use any knowledge or skill more quickly, thoroughly, easily, deeply, or permanently. That's our business in the classroom. So effective learning on the students, effective teaching on us. Okay. Next. Okay, next. So so there, as we know, especially LIA teachers and other teachers from other schools are aware of this, yeah? There are various teaching delivery modes. Okay, we have here, we make it simple. So we only have this online learning, blended learning, hybrid learning. And of course, now we are going to have the on-site classes to achieve our main objective. Okay, next. We're going to first why it is modes of learning. So I would like to, emphasize first on synchronous. Maybe the former slide, please. The previous slide on synchronous versus asynchronous. The previous slide, oh, it's not there anymore. Oh, okay. Anyway, I think everybody is familiar with synchronous versus asynchronous. So synchronous actually are the activities take place in real time. So when both teachers and students can expect to have immediate responses from one another. It might be online. It might be interactive webinars. It might be chat-based online discussions, or it might be face-to-face. So full on-site learning, we call it synchronous. The live sessions take place in physical classroom. The second is asynchronous. Actually, are activities that can take any time, enabling students to study on their own pace, to work on the exercise, to do assignments. So like watching pre-recorded, usually teachers give your students watching pre-recorded lectures, videos, or lessons, and then assigned reading and writing for them. That's actually termed as asynchronous. So learning do not occur at the same place or at the same time. So it's very flexible. Now we are going to focus on the modes of learning. So that's the first learning. And the second is actually full online learning. It is termed as synchronous because it's live sessions which take place although in virtual classrooms, like what we are doing now. The third, blended, as it is termed blend, yeah. Some of synchronous, so live sessions take place, physical classrooms, and some in virtual classrooms. It's a combination. Now the fourth one, which they call hybrid learning. Usually universities are doing this. Although they are now having on-site learning, a lot of them are going back to the universities, to the campus, and other and schools from kindergarten up to senior high school, they are going back to on-site learning. Now, this one is hybrid learning, all synchronous. It's live sessions attended by some learners on site and in person and some online. It is done by our STBA, Sekolah Tinggi Bahasa Asing, LIA in Yogyakarta. Maybe LIA Jakarta, STBA is also going to do that, hybrid learning. Okay, so whatever modes of learning, then our objective, again, don't forget, still effective teaching through effective learning through effective teaching, right? Okay, next. By the way, a while ago, we discussed about online learning. Many of you, teachers have experienced that during the pandemic season. And so you can always say that there are a lot of challenges the teachers and the learners face during the time. And there are, of course, opportunities and or advantages for students. We are talking about for students here. Teachers, we have a lot of challenges. But our concern in this this morning is the teachers, the students' challenges. Do you have any? Can you mention some challenges that the students are facing during the online learning? Yeah, we have discussed, maybe we make a lot of discussion with that. So I just would like to cite some. Internet connection, as always, ma'am. As actually, the best example is a while ago. See? That's why I said, this is the best example of the challenges for a speaker or for a teacher. This can always happen. We only plan, it's there, the audio is there and everything. And then suddenly it happens, the audio is off. It's something like that. Okay, so that's the challenge. Oh, yeah, students tend to turn camera off despite. Yeah, we turn the camera off, motivate students to show their face. It's not easy. Okay, so these are the challenges for students. Yeah. Here it was discussed by some experts that ineffective time management, challenges for students. So okay, then ineffective time management for the students. Yes, it can happen. Lack of instant communication. Yeah. Not receiving timely feedback. Of course, the teachers cannot give, if it is asynchronous, if it is an asynchronous online learning, of course, time management for the students is affected. And then also no communication. Yeah, instant communication is, there is, but it's not enough. And then also giving the feedback maybe is not as immediate as we can do during face-to-face. Not receiving. Okay, oh yeah. Students regarding the lessons as during videos, they mostly forget. Okay, not receiving clear instructions. Maybe our instructions is not clear during that time. Lack of hands-on learning. Hands-on learning, like for example, if it's in face-to-face, then they can really feel, they can experience the process of learning. It's ongoing and it's real. Yeah. Now during online learning, there's a sense of isolation. There are students who feel like that. They are isolated. They are alone at home or wherever they are. And the biggest issue, the biggest problem, of course, is technical equipment. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm not going to spend a lot of time with this, but of course there are opportunities or advantages for students. Okay, next, advantages for students. What are those? It's convenient, actually, for them, and it's flexible. So anytime they want, especially the asynchronous learning or modes, so they can actually, arrange their own time, their own schedule according to their convenience. And also, we can bring education right to their homes. Yeah. And more individual attention. I don't know whether you agree to this, but usually teachers can give more individual attention during online learning because there are students that we found that who needs more coaching. And there's the expert says also that help students meet interesting people. What interesting people? Online, of course. And then this one, oh, it trains students to be independent learners. That's very good. Yeah, give students real world skills. Real world skills, and they can do, like, for example, critical thinking, problem solving, and then they become also a lifelong learners, independent learners, as what a while ago I saw in the chat box. So because the learning is ongoing, it's ongoing, voluntary, and self-motivated. Oh, I just want to sleep now. I don't want to do my exercises. But if they have strong motivation, then they will do it on their own. So they become autonomous learners or independent learners. Of course, the financial benefits. Yes. Because if we talk about online, there are a lot of discounts and parents are happy about this discounts. But then financial benefits versus headaches, especially the mothers, especially the younger ones, the elementary graders or primary graders. And to the extent the kindergarten, it's not easy to deal with during online learning. It's not easy to motivate them. So that's the issue, actually. And in it teaches students to be self-disciplined. They are disciplined, of course. And then they connect students to the global village, the global world, as what it mentioned a while ago. Okay, next. Okay. Now, we are going to switch into the strategies. These are modes of learning, whatever modes of you are talking about or using in your classroom. Ultimate goal is you have to achieve effective learning. So in order to make learning, teaching and learning effective, teachers need to reflect. Every day we reflect. In whatever activities we have, we reflect. When we cook, we reflect. When we make something a project, we reflect. So this is one, how should I say? one strategy of teaching, and it is going. It was already used many years ago, but until now, sometimes teachers or even students do not, realize that they always reflect. And in everyday activities, we reflect. That's part of our life. So this is actually the cycle of reflective practice. We teach as teachers, yeah? We teach, and then we self-assess, or we try to see the effect of our teaching on learning, right? And then after that, we consider new ways of teaching which can improve the quality of learning of our students. Yeah? Do you agree with me? Where are you now? Okay, I hope you agree with me with this. This is already proven. And then we try these ideas in practice. So we got ideas on how to improve, and then we try these ideas in practice, and we repeat the process. It's a cycle. In even not in educational field, this reflective practice is used in offices. So if you do something, you have to reflect. You have to evaluate. You have to see whether it works or not, and what other possibilities that you can do in order to achieve success in your business, for example. Now, as teachers, going back to teachers, this is very important. And how is it related to classroom teaching, classroom research? Later, I will try to emphasize that. Okay, next. Also, this is actually the cycle that I'm talking about. So we teach, and then we self-assess, and then we consider new ways of teaching, which can improve our students' learning. And then we try those strategies or techniques in practice, similar to our classroom action research, right? Researchers, you can already feel that. And then we repeat the process. So actually, this reflective practice was done by Spoon, Donald Spoon, a very, old already, yeah, practitioner, and still handed to us until now. We are lucky. Now, next. We are going to have the definition of a reflective practice here. I hope everybody is aware of this. You are doing this already. I'm sure you are doing this, because maybe there are those who don't realize that they are doing it. So it's learning through from experience towards gaining new insight of self and practice. Our researchers are doing this. Our classroom researchers are doing this. Because this is the basic part of teaching and learning. It aims actually to make you more aware, to make us more aware of our own professional knowledge and action by challenging assumptions. We assume, yeah, we have assumptions of everyday practice, and then we critically evaluate our own responses to practice situations. Okay, so we evaluate our own doing, our own teaching, and then we evaluate our own responses to practice situations. That's according to Linda Finley. Okay, so next. Another definition from the Cambridge community. It's the purpose is actually there. It was mentioned. So the first one, it is a systematic reviewing process. It's a process for all of us teachers, which allow us to make links or connections from our one experience to the next. That's what teachers are doing every day. What is the purpose? We want to make sure our students make maximum progress. We want them to achieve something. We want them to be able to speak the language. We want them to be able to read, achieve strategies in reading. We want them to be able to listen, using English, and we want them to write, which is the most difficult part for students. So this reflective process actually encourages us teachers to work with others as we can share best practice and draw others for support. So we are supporting each other. Now, this is LIA CAR actually, Classroom Action Research Team is a good example. They encourage the teachers to do the classroom research, action research, the CAR, and then they support them by giving a lot of mentoring. You see, this is done, the researchers, actually the research involves reflection, reflective process. So ultimately, finally, reflection makes sure all students learn more effectively. I'll repeat, learn more effectively, as learning can be tailored to them. So we design our lessons, our activities to fit their students' need. Now, if other institutions will ask me, for example, last time, our other institutions here, language institutions, language courses, ask me, what's the secret of LIA? What's the secret of LIA, Ibu Luz? Miss Luz? Yeah, we just want our students to learn more effectively. And we tailored activities, we design activities. That's why we design our own books in order to meet the demands of our local students. Because here, if we use published books, of course, they are good. I'm not saying they aren't, but it is generic. So we have to add more supplementary materials for that. Okay, so next. Well, let me say, there are a lot actually of approaches in the past used by experts, approaches to reflection. It's a lot of models are used, but I'm going to emphasize only stress on this very simple one, very easy to follow for all of us. Any of us can follow. This is, we call reflection in action. This is a very old strategy or approach. This is designed by Donald Schoon, 1991. You see, I really intentionally, put this one because they are the pioneer. These people are the pioneer of reflective practice. So this is what we call reflection in action. It is self-understood, It is done during the stage, during the doing stage, during the teaching stage in the classroom right away. So as teacher, we can react and change a teaching strategy or technique at the time it happens, if it does not yield good results. For example, you are introducing a topic, and then the students do not understand the topic. Maybe the topic is not familiar with them. They are not interested. So the teaching is not, learning does not take place if it happens like that. You see? So what you have to do is to switch. And then maybe LIA teachers will ask how to switch, Ibu Luz, right away. So maybe we have topics in our books which are not really popular among our teenagers. For example, English for teens. We have the ET program. And maybe in schools, also you can apply that. You have course books used, and then maybe there are topics which are not very interesting for the teenagers. But then you can simplify the topic and bring it to the learner's world. Personalized, relate it to their own experience. So in that right moment, oh, so they are not reacting, they are not interested. So bring it to their own world, relate it to their own experiences. Reflection and action, on the other hand, it's self-understood also. After the lesson has been taught, then you are going to look into it again and give ideas what we need to change for the future. So there's time that you can, look into it. Maybe it's through your journals or the learning journals of the students, if you are using journals, or maybe not journals. After the class, you just give them the post-it and then, okay, what do you think you learned today? So, or you want to be more specific, what is the most enjoyable activity that I gave to you today? And so they can write one sentence, and after that you collect. Oh, so they enjoy this technique. So reflective. I am sure that LIA teachers or others are doing this already. But you have to do more on this. You have to be aware. Oh, I have to do this. So there are two. Being reflective as a teacher and being reflective as a learner. So students can be always reflective on their learning and as well, and teachers as well. Here I'm focusing on the teachers, how you have to become a reflective teacher. Learners are can always be reflective by giving them chances to express themselves. That's why our book EA, I think, English for Adults. So they are now I can, so they are assessing themselves. Now I can learn, so whatever the topics are, it's about food or it's about whatever, it's about tourist destination. Now I know how to speak or talk about sports, for example. I know how to write about sports. So there are projects given. So that's the purpose, actually. Okay. Now, I would like you to next. So this is very important for all of us. A very practical way of doing it. Next. Okay, so now this is the connection. Reflection and action actually encourages us to consider causes and options. We should be informed by a network of understanding from research. So we have to read a lot of research. Maybe some, what I call it. So we read some research relating to the problems that we are facing, or we can do, the best way is we can do our own research in the classroom. That's why the teachers of LIA, or maybe other teachers from other schools, are encouraged to do classroom action research. That is a very good way of implementing reflective practice, reflective on action. Yeah. So by following, I can say, by following any of the mentioned models or strategies, teachers will have a questioning approach to teaching. Yeah. And then we can consider strengths and areas of development. We do reflection by doing this reflection. And so as a result, what we do in the classroom actually will be carefully planned. We can plan it very carefully. And plan what actions you are going to do next. That's why teachers are always encouraged, to do this CAR. Okay, so the next issue that I'm going to bring to you is the most famous classroom action research that we are doing here in LIA. Next. So here are some benefits, actually, the benefits of reflective practice before I go to the classroom action research issue. So you can just read with that one, you see. It help create confidence in us. Yeah. So we are more confident because we know what we're doing. And then this practice also makes sure we are responsible for ourselves and our students. So we become responsible. So I am responsible for my students, for myself and for my students. So it gives us satisfaction. It, of course, it encourages innovation. We innovate through the things that we found out. And it encourages engagement. Basically, strongly, it encourages engagement because we are going to create activities that engage the students later. By reflecting, we create an environment focusing on the learners, not focusing on us. So what is best for us? What is convenient for us? It's not that. The point is what the learners need, what is best for them. So that's the issue. Okay? Next. And why are we going to do classroom action research? Is it for us, for me, or is it for my students? Again, you have to ingrain in your minds, it is for my students. It is not only for me. So if we think about our students, then we do it willingly. It's not easy to do classroom action research or whatever research. It is, there are a lot of challenges. There are a lot of efforts that we have to make. But then it actually needs commitment. And the results, you will be very satisfied if your learners are achieving what they should achieve. Now, in a broader scope, in schools, this is what they say from the glossary. The definition says it refers to a wide variety of evaluative, investigative, and analytical research methods designed for what? To diagnose problems or weaknesses, whether organizational, academic, or instructional. And it will help educators develop practical solutions to address them quickly and efficiently. See? So we are not talking only about classroom in this first definition. It is broad. So we're talking also, I think there are participants from the different departments, the content developers from the curriculum and materials department, GE, ESP, if they are attending. So as the writers, as developers of content, you need to reflect. You need to go into the classrooms. You can only write better if you know what is going on in the classroom. So that's why there is a policy that writers, test writers, or the materials developers should teach. Otherwise, they won't feel the needs of the students. Okay, so here, classroom action research begins with a question, or maybe there are 2 or more questions about classroom experiences, the issue, or the challenges. Now, our teachers here are pretty familiar, for those who are already doing research, pretty familiar with these issues brought. But the most important thing, it is a reflective process. Again and again, I'm going to emphasize that. It is a reflective process which help you or us to explore and examine aspects of teaching and learning and to take change and improve. That's all actually. That's simple. But then doing it is not really very simple. It needs more efforts and confident time, money, of course, a lot of things that you have to sacrifice. But the result later will be very significantly satisfying. Okay, next. Okay, actually, this is the car cyclical process. I'm not going to, what is it? This is the basic one, the process usually used by many researchers. So there are 4 steps or stages. We plan, and then we do action, we act, and then we observe, and then we reflect. Again, another there. It is again included in reflection. Yeah. So those are the most important steps in doing the classroom action research. And it is repeated and repeated again. It's a cycle. Okay, so there are the details of this. When you are going to plan, what are you going to plan? Okay, so first, then you I'm going to use this strategy. Or there is a strategy online, maybe it is online games or whatever. And then you want to find out something. There is a problem. Your students do not participate in your activities. They are very passive. Then that is your problem. So identify your problem. And then after that, what are you going to do with that? So you find strategies for them to be able to participate in the lessons or in discussions, something. And then you act, and then you observe how they respond, and then reflect on the results. And then after that, if you need some changes again, or you want to do the cycle again, then you go on and so on. So it is really a long process, So there is I don't think whether I have the spiral here, the next, find out. Okay. So this is actually the action research spiral. This is not only for classroom. So I include the here because it can be done for any other purposes. But mostly these are the 4 basic steps. So after you have found out, you plan the change, right? I'm not going to use this strategy anymore because it doesn't work. Yeah, I changed it to something else. And then, so after that, you plan what strategy or techniques you are going to use in order to reach the objective that you are trying to aim, what teaching or learning skills that you want to achieve, and then observe the process of implementation and consequences. So because in the process of implementation, there are always consequences. Yeah, that maybe you don't anticipate. And after that, reflect again on the process of change and replanning. And it is repeated again and again. Now, believe me or not, I took exactly these words from Kurt Lewin, if you want to browse that. Kurt Lewin, 1946. Yeah, 1946. So it was used, but until now, it is not changed. So it is the basis. This action research spiral is the basis of all the development on how you are going to do the research. You see, this is the father, the founder. He is the founder of this action research. It's not classroom action research, but action research. Action research can be done anywhere. Office situation, projects. For us here, because we are teachers, we are trying to do the classroom action research. Okay. Next. Now, so why do we do this? CAR, because it provides chances or opportunities for us to reflect on our classroom practices. Again, the word reflect is there. Identify what works well and what still needs improvement. You see, as simple as what needs to be improved. Now, LIA Classroom Action Research and Colloquium has been conducted annually. Actually, this is the purpose. And we are very thankful to the team who are doing this. There are such dynamic people around at LIA. So our purpose actually is to encourage our teachers to conduct classroom action research. So I hope other teachers also from other institutions can also carry this out. You can try and see the results. So we would like to provide support for our teachers to improve their research methodology and writing skills. You see, at the same time, because we actually edit or we try to look into the researchers' papers, and then what points or what items need to be improved from our researchers. And so we have mentors like Ibu Winda and Papa Hendro, who are really especially dedicated to the activities that they are doing. We are very passionate about that. And so also we are doing this to provide forum or stage, as what we call, for the teachers to share the results of the research, which will be conducted later on in parallel sessions, giving them chances to present to their fellow teachers, share what they found out, what they discover. Maybe they will share the good ones, but of course, they will also share the negative ones. Maybe things that they are not successful doing this are necessary. So we do like this, something like that. So it's not only the best practice, but also the results, the negative, maybe the what we call, it's not very satisfying results. Sometimes we cannot avoid that. And this is our hope, is to publish our teachers' research paper to reach a wider audience. So the team is still working on that. Okay, now it is hoped that participants understand the relevance of this conducting CAR for teachers to respond to the challenges you are facing. Okay, next. We're almost over. So this is the wrap up. I always repeat it actually a while ago. As teachers, we're always encouraged to conduct classroom action research, no matter what teaching delivery modes and teaching and learning strategies we are using in our classroom. There are a lot of learning strategies that we can use. LIA teachers are very, or even other, if you are a teacher, automatically actually you tend to create your own techniques, what works in your classroom. Because sometimes we see techniques in the books and then it doesn't work and we modify it. So that's what we call actually being innovative. So our reflective practice actually will be significantly strengthened, and the results will be more justifiable, reliable, if I say, if we support them with research. Yeah. So if we support them with classroom action research, like that. So it is my hope that even even myself, I still would like to do this thing. Now what I do is just whatever I do, whatever projects I am engaged in, I do reflection. And hopefully I will be able to have a class again and I can do this classroom action research again. Okay. So next, this is the last slide. These are actually quotes I took from a blog named Sarah Fisher. Yes, quotes from, you see, 1890, 1947. Kurt Lewin is the father of action research. That's why I specifically quote what he said. No research without action. No action without research. Do you agree with that? Okay, it's very interesting then what he said. And then it's 1912 to 1977. You see? So they are not, I mean, they are in heaven already, yeah? So research, but we are still using their work. How amazing they are. So research is what I'm doing when I don't know with what? I don't know what I'm doing. So research is what I'm doing when I don't know what I'm doing. You see? And I know that you know, I don't know your generation, if still you are familiar with Neil Armstrong. Okay, so the first astronaut landed the moon. Okay, so research is creating new knowledge. Yeah. And then the last one, very popular, Bill Gates said something like this: I believe in innovation, and that the way you get innovation is you fund research and you learn the basic facts. You fund research. So hopefully LIA has enough budget or more budget for our teachers to do research, because research is not free. It involves funds. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. I hope I have given some enlightenments, although the things that I'm talking are not new. It's only emphasizing on the things, on the aims, why we are doing reflection and why we are doing classroom action research. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Ms. Luz, for a very enlightening and insightful presentation. The next part is the Q&A. You can write down your question or you want to ask Ms. Luz directly. Please mention your name, and your institution.
The team, can you help me if I miss some questions?
Yes, Padaman will help you to take notes for
Yeah,
the
sure.
question. Two best questions will get a giveaway voucher.
Itu kan 3 bersaudara tapi nggak akur, jadi yang cowok dua-dua ini dulu mereka tuh kayak orang berada tapi terus jadi dimanja.
Maybe the teacher researchers would like to ask question. Okay, then I will ask question for you, Bulut. With your very long experience. Okay, as you know that we teachers we are very busy with our daily responsibilities. So with your long experience, can you give us some tips if we want to do a classroom action research? How do we balance it with all the works that the teacher should do based on your experience?
Okay. First, it's like this. First, strong commitment. Yeah.
Mhm.
Commitment. And then I am committed to improve. You have to make peace with yourself. Make peace with yourself. Yeah, and then say I have a strong commitment to improve my students' learning. I want them. So my aim, I am a teacher. So I want to give the best for my students. This is very idealistic. I'm very idealistic because my faculty is in education, of course, and we were taught about the philosophies of education.
Mhm.
Philosophy of education. Yeah. Then so here I'm dealing with my students. I want them to learn the best from me. I would do my commitment. Yeah. And then, so you have that commitment. Oh, I cannot do it. And then you found out that it's very difficult to do it. So I have this. I have many classes. Sometimes teachers have many classes. During my time, we have so many classes. Yeah.
Mhm.
How can I do this? And for me, as my experience is when I also teach here, taught in LB and I also taught in SBA, Sekolah Tinggi Bahasa Asing,
Yeah.
during the time. And I was the head department of the English test
Mhm.
department that time. And also, so it's not really easy to what is it?
Yeah. So how did you find time?
Then it's careful planning, good planning, time management.
Mhm.
So make a chart. I always make a chart. So this is my goal. Yeah, I want my students like this. I have a class in Sekolah Tinggi Bahasa Asing, so I
Mhm.
want them to get the best. So I know already what are their weaknesses, right? Writing. I think there are formal school Western students have to improve their writing. So I made a plan, and then I do classroom research. I mean, although it's not published, it's my own. I was not funded by the Sekolah Tinggi Bahasa Asing. I just did it on my own. That was the first. Did it on my own, and then I just follow the cycle. So I do this. This is my strategy. Or then I found out that it's like that. Some are recorded. It's not really a very. But what I did is first reflection, reflective practice, and then develop it into a research. So it's very
Yes.
long.
There is
Yeah,
a question from Miss Izatur Rahmania. Miss Izatur, are you here? Maybe you can ask Miss Luz directly.
Oh, all right. I'm here. Good morning, Mrs. Luz. Can you hear me?
Yes, sure.
Oh, I see.
How should I call you? Izato.
Iza. You can call me
Iza.
Iza. Yes.
Okay.
My name is Iza. I'm from Bali. So I wonder about your experience in reflecting your teaching, Mrs. Luz. Has it been really helpful to you? Has it really, what is it, given an impact to your teaching? And do you also ask other teachers' opinion when you do reflection? That's my question.
Okay.
Okay, thank
Um,
you.
yes, thank you, Iza.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, during that, my teaching experience is that like this. I do my reflection and it impacted my teaching. So I know what to improve. So like, for example, uh, I told you already that I give some, what is it? Some questions to my students. Some questions after teaching. I give some questions, very simple questions, and feedback, then I design another approach. And it's important. And then reflection in action, you know, reflection in action right away give an impact. Because when I notice, it's being very quick and very keen in the classroom, very observant. So when you apply sometimes for children again, children's game, because I taught I taught all levels. I
Oh,
start
that's great.
uh, my major is teaching way back in the Philippines. My teaching my major is teaching secondary, yeah, bachelor of science in secondary education. But then when I applied for that, what is it, in that school, no vacancy. So they asked me to teach kindergarten. Okay. My first, of course, my first experience, my practice teaching is high school level, was high school level, and then teaching kindergarten, and I had so teaching kindergarten, primary, and then junior high school, senior high school, at formal.
Yang speaker itu.
Then so especially if you applied games and then children don't seem to participate.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't like, it means they don't like the game. So you check it right away. Oh, you have to switch. You have to switch right away. That is reflection in action. Right away, you switch to another. I don't force them to have that game or songs. There are
Yeah.
like for those primary teachers, in our situation, GEL, we call it General English for Young Learners. Don't force them. They don't enjoy. Right away switch. And reflection on action. Reflection on action. So after I found out that, so this kind of strategy that does not work for my, especially, how do you call that? English for teens, yeah, the junior high school is very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Primary or kindergarten is the most fun, and then primary graders are okay, but
Teens.
teens, junior high school, because it's the transition, yeah. And then the senior high school, adults, executives, oh my gosh, different ways of teaching. So, and university students, another approach. Although the basic principles to make your learning effective for them. Yeah, is that okay, Ida?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mrs. Luz.
You're from
It's
Bali.
really insightful. Yeah, I'm from Bali. I used to teach in Lembaga. Yes, what is it, Miss?
You are
Sorry.
a teacher in
Yeah.
formal school?
I have an English course at home, so I teach at home.
Oh, you see. Oh, yeah. You are a school administrator, actually.
Yeah.
You have to emphasize to your teachers that they have to
Yeah.
be very keen and very observant reflection, because it's not only reflecting on your teaching, reflecting
Mm,
what you do every day. It's a
mm.
habit.
Yeah, I learned a lot because I used to teach at Lembaga Bahasa LIA Malang a few years ago, so it brings back the memory when I hear your presentation. That's
Yeah,
it.
this is a very
Mm-mm.
in the past. Oops, you see
Mm-mm.
the references that I took. I really intentionally get that. So you were not yet born, all of you, but you know those knowledge are still here. It is
Yeah,
developed by others, and then it becomes applicable to the new generation. So something like that's how education develops. But if
yeah.
we are going to look back, the concepts are already there since before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
Bu Luz,
Mm.
Padaman will read the next question, but before that, I'd like to quote a comment in YouTube from Mr. Tiar Adam Simanjuntak that we are more in an oral setting than a written setting. It is what I found as a big hindrance for us to put things as a research activity. We are more to oral. But anyway, let's just continue to the next question. Yes, Padaman, please read the next question.
Oh, okay. So I will read based on the order of time, ya, Bu. I think Bu Ida is raising. No. Bu Ida is going to ask question first, and after that, I will read the questions. So Bu Ida.
Okay. Thank you, Padaman. Hi, Ibu Luz.
Yeah.
I am your big fan.
Oh yeah, Ibu Ida from Cirebon, right?
Yes, from Cirebon. Bu Ida is from Cirebon.
Yes, I'm your big fan, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I have questions. Actually, maybe this is the question that is always asked by other teachers who haven't conducted CAR yet. How should we start the CAR? Should we find the problem first and then find the solutions, or should we read the theoretical background first and then find the problems and then find the solution or something like that? How should we start? I mean, writing CAR itself is really complex and challenging. Okay, but once you do it, you will be addicted because you will always see problems, and we are encouraged to find the solutions. So that's the question that always asked to me: how actually the effective way to start writing CAR. Thank you, ma'am.
Effective way to start writing CAR. Okay.
Yes.
So there is I mean, it depends on the individual. Yeah, your approach, what you feel more convenient. Now what applies to me might not apply to you, you know.
Okay.
Then for me, so I am, for example, I am a teacher, and then I always do reflection. Yeah, that is, I always do reflection already. I always do some reflective activities in my teaching, and then how should I convince my colleagues or even myself? So I have to convince myself to research. So what I do, what I do is before I could make a research, I have to know what is classroom action research. So I have to read, but it is done simultaneously. It doesn't mean I will read first the literature of classroom action research. I will study first. So simultaneously you do it. You have usually we don't we see problems we don't identify problems. We see problems although we don't have the intention of identifying problems for research, you know what I mean, Liida? Yeah. So there is a problem. How can, oh yeah, this is a good problem. If you find a problem that is good to conduct a research on, then do it. But at the same time, what I mean is at the same time, you read the classroom action research literature because it will guide you. It will guide you on how you are going to do it
Mm.
step by step. Yeah?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is it okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, very highlight.
Okay, the next question, Pak Daman.
Okay, this question is from YouTube. We have question from Ibu Susi Nurulina, teacher of LIA Pramuka. The question is how to deal with different kinds of students' learning style.
Okay. Wow. Learning styles, yeah. So what do you mean here with the learning styles? Is it the audio learners, the visual learners, and then the kinesthetic, or there are also students who have multiple intelligences? Yeah. If learning styles, how to deal with that? You have to cater to the needs of the student. Of course, you cannot say, oh, those students are visual, so I always present my lesson through visual pictures and so on. Our books usually deal with pictures, right? So you have to equally deal with them. So you have to have an inventory first. So it needs a keen observation among your students who is more visual learners, audio learners, auditory learners, we call it auditory learners, and the kinesthetic learners. So inventory, make an inventory, at least it takes few sessions, few sessions, and then you can find out majority. Maybe you can rank, you can group the students according to their, learning styles. Then when you design your lessons, you have to consider those styles of learning. So sometimes we are, because we are auditory, then so we also give auditory. It depends on our own learning style. So you try to do your best that you do give them equally, activities equally. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Luz.
Miss Susi, yeah.
So we still have questions, but unfortunately only one more question that is going to be asked for Ibu Luz. I think from Ibu Irwanti Vidayanti from LIA Surabaya.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the question is, what kinds of support should the management provide to nurture this reflective teaching?
Okay, yeah, a good question. Yeah, what is it, Ibu Irwanti? Because you are the branch manager over there, so you are thinking of support for the teachers. Yeah. Yeah. First, support is maybe they need a training. It's not a formal training, mentoring, yeah, from the teachers. It can be done, senior teachers to junior teachers, or the supervisors can do it. Yeah, the training support. Of course, because this reflective teaching, there are a lot of models. What I am giving to you is just the very practical one. Yeah, the very practical one, but there are a lot of models. You can go deeper into that. so needs training, because I remember that was my presentation in Pramuka when we had the first teleconference from the US and LIA, because US, especially the embassy, in the past times, 1990s, they have a very strong support on LIA for training. So I remember my presentation is about reflective teaching. Okay, then the next, I will make it short. Put it in the, maybe put it in the budget. Yeah, in your budget, that training, of course. And then some incentives, talking about incentives, is some incentives or something, rewards for them. Yeah, rewards, to give them rewards. But you will say it needs money, boo, it needs something. So rewards are not actually only in terms of money. Recognition, maybe if you don't have a budget yet, you can put it on the teacher's room. The best teacher who practices reflective teaching, or CAR action, the classroom action research. So publish it, display. But of course, now here is an example of how we support our researchers. Now, for reflective teachers, you can do it in your own branch. Then you are going to do it locally. Yeah, locally. And so perhaps you are going to organize maybe event or some competition on carrying out, presenting their experiences on reflective teaching. Something like that, Ibu Irwanti.
Thank you, Ibu Luz.
Is it yeah, thank you, Bu Irwanti, for the question. Bu Gita, is it enough or can we?
Yes, you can show all the questions, Padaman, so Bu Luz can choose 2 best questions.
Okay.
Okay. Can I just a recap of the questions that
Okay.
have been addressed?
Okay.
Okay,
Sure.
so
Thank you,
Ibu,
Basen.
yeah, Ibu Luz, you have addressed 4 questions. The first one is from Ibu Iza from Bali. She asked about reflective teaching, about how you applied reflective teaching in your teaching days back then. And then Ibu Ida from Cirebon asked about how to start CAR. Which one should we do first? Do literature research about theories, or then solve problems, or it should go the other way around? And then Ibu Susi from Pramuka asked about how to deal with students having different learning styles. And then Ibu Irwanti, our branch manager from Surabaya, asked about how branches can support teachers to conduct CAR. I think this one is interesting, because I'm sure all teachers are interested in finding out the answers, your answers about encouraging branch managers to support branch manager, how to support the teachers to conduct CAR. Okay, so among those 4 questions, which one do you want to choose, Ibu? 2 questions?
Now 2 questions. It's from it doesn't mean that because Ibu Ida Maulida is what is it? I know her, but because her question actually make me, what is it, a little bit wow. So
Surprise.
Okay.
A very good question for those who plan to execute.
Okay. So one of the questions selected is Ibu Idas, and another one?
Number 2, it's about support for the teachers.
Okay.
Number 2.
Okay, thank you.
Although I
Okay.
like, oh yeah, okay, number 2. But my appreciation to Miss Iza and Miss Susie. Yeah, Miss Iza asking for my experience. Okay, thank
The
you.
second one is from Miss Irwanti, is it?
Yes, that
The
is the first, and then Miss Irwanti is the second.
okay. Okay then. So congratulations to the winners of the best 2 questions, Miss Ida Maulida and Miss Irwanti. Okay.